How's it going, everybody? I am DeanoGTO, and today we're looking at the T54E1, the Tier 9 American autoloading medium tank. So this machine here leads on to the T57 Heavy, as you'd expect, considering it's in the autoloading line. And for the most part, I was very skeptical of this machine whenever I first got it. I really didn't expect much from it because I had heard so many stories about people playing this machine and just not being able to penetrate the targets they were shooting at, and people just struggling to deal with the machine just in general. And because of that, I went into this thing with a very, very low expectations because I expected it to be a very, very bad tank. But I'm actually pretty happy to be able to say that I think the reputation of this machine is a little wrong, because it has 8 degrees of gun depression, it has 390 alpha per shot. Yes, the penetration's kind of low. I believe it was like 220. No, it's actually 210. Wow, it's even lower than I thought it was. So, penetration is low. But it has, I believe, 1560 overall clip damage per clip that it fires. So, it's still an incredibly powerful vehicle. Now, it's not quite as powerful tier for tier in terms of gun as the T7 Heavy at tier 10, but you'd expect that, and, well, managed to get 2 shots into that T4 mod 1. But it still has the overall relatively quick in-between shot reload, and the overall reload itself isn't the worst either, because it's like 32 seconds, and that could have been a lot worse. So it's a machine which I actually like for the most part, because I actually struggled with Batchat 25 TAP, but this thing here I actually got along with relatively well, which was interesting, because the 25 TAP overall I think has the better reputation by far. But this thing here, for some reason, just seemed to click and just seemed to click with me for the most part, and I just enjoyed playing it. So this match so far has actually progressed in an interesting way. The Jagdpanzer E100 and the T30, which are 2 tank destroyers, have pushed through the banana road and are now in our side of the map. So this is a really odd situation, because it's not too often you actually see that happen this early on in the game. Like, it's only been like the first 2 minutes and or 2.5 minutes, and already the enemy team is pretty much in our corner of the map. So got kind of unlucky with one of the shots there against this Tiger 2, but I still managed to finish him off thanks to the 4-shot clip. And then artillery whacks very close to me in the Ag Tiger and kills my gunner. So I immediately used my medkit in order to stick my gunner back into action, because, well, not having a gunner in a vehicle like this would just be suicide. So right now we know there's a T54 mod 1 to our left, and we know there's an M46 pattern back there in a hold down location. Now, going by the writing, what it looked like and see if the writing for the other vehicle that's over there next to the M46, I would say it's an STA1, but I haven't actually seen that at this point. So let's just kind of move forward here and see what exactly is over here. And yep, there's an STA1. So I can stick 1 shot into the M46, then I'm going to stop shooting at them, because I just want to kind of remove a vehicle which I can clip. Whereas the M46, I don't think I can clip the M46 reliably. Whereas the STA1, it was a bit more likely that I would be able to kill him with ease. So T54 mod 1 is now going towards the T49, and I believe the T49 has recently fired, which is what's causing this standoff. And T54 mod 1 does manage to actually finish off the T49, which is a bit unfortunate. And now the Ag Tiger is going towards the M46. So I'm probably going to use this as an opportunity while the T54 mod 1 is distracted by the Ag Tiger, or at least I'm hoping he's distracted by it. I'm going to try and use this as an opportunity to try and kill this guy. And yep, that's exactly what happens, which works out really nicely for us there. And now the M46 pattern is over to our front. Now, I'm going to try and just rush into this guy as quick as possible and use my burst damage to just finish him off as fast as we possibly can. And aiming for the engine shots if I can. And unfortunately, didn't get any engine fires, which means the guy actually gets to get away without any sort of real repercussions, which is a bit unfortunate, but really not much we can do about that. So the Ag Tiger gets hit by the artillery at this point again, which, if I'm honest with you, that's one of the problems with vehicles like the Ag Tiger. They're such big targets that artilleries just love to shoot at them. Vehicles like this one here, which are a bit more mobile, artillery seem a bit more reluctant to try and lead the shots on those. Now, the Ag Tiger there is asking for help in rushing after the M46. Now, initially I was very tempted to help him out, but I realized that the TVP-5051 and the T49 are actually very near to our base. So, in hindsight, like, I think it would, like with the hindsight of me, like, knowing what's going to happen in this battle, it was definitely the right call to head back towards the base, because it was just a Grill 15 that's on 700 health and an FE4202. Now, the FE4202 is an okay machine, but it's not great. So, if the Grill 15 got rushed, the TVP and the T49 would kill it with no problem whatsoever. That's one of the trade-offs when you have a tank destroyer with very, very little armor to use. And I even asked in the chat there, TVP HP, because it would be interesting to, like, know just how much health he has remaining, and he is in one clip range for me. Now, I don't want to get into a close range gunfight with the TVP, because if you get into a close range gunfight with the TVP, what will happen is you will get killed very, very quickly, because he will outclip you very easily. And all he needs is to get one other tank to hit me once, more than likely, and he will be able to clip me, because I believe it's 320 alpha per shot with a 4-shot clip. And here I spot the T49. T49 unfortunately kills off the Grill 15, which is what I was afraid of happening. Managed to get the engine fire in the T49, which finishes him off. Not going to get greedy and try and go for the shot in the TVP, because I realised that would be dangerous. If he manages to get a shot into my track, I won't really have any way of recovering from that, because the TVP has like a 1.3 second like interval between each shot, which means if I repaired the track and I mistimed it, he would be able to track me again, and I would be forced to take the entire amount of damage. So I figured it was probably a bad idea to try and go for the TVP in that situation and try and get one shot into him. It just didn't seem worth it in my head. So at this point we know there's an UDES 03, M46 and TVP all in that general direction. I get spotted at this point, which is interesting because I can't actually remember what exactly spotted me. I would guess probably the M46, because, well, that thing just has the best overall view range. I don't expect it to be the UDES, but the UDES is actually behind me. I'm going to focus on killing the M46 first, because I'm just like, I need to get rid of this guy. UDES is using the 90mm, which is very interesting, and then I managed to kill off the M46 and the UDES, thanks to the usage of the autoloader, and this was like the worst timing possible, because I just hit the reload on my keyboard as soon as that TVP came around the corner. So I'm going to try and run away as quickly as I possibly can, and the TVP sees what I'm doing, and he actually starts to run away as well. So in this fight versus the TVP versus a French autoloader, I would close the distance and try and get it so that I could unload on them faster than they can unload on me. But versus the TVP, it is really, really dangerous to get in close range with that thing, because he's able to out-reload me overall in terms of clip, overall reload speed, and he's able to unload shots at a faster rate. So closing the distance with him in this situation would be a terrible idea, because there's only like 100 health points difference between the two tanks. So I kind of like drive across here. I built up the range, that's why I drove away from where the TVP was. TVP sees that I fire towards him, and he actually starts coming towards me. I'm actually watching the map here, and I see he's coming towards me. Initially I was planning on disengaging, but whenever I see he's closing the distance, I don't know what possessed him to do that, but he decided to close the distance at significant speed. But considering I had my gun loaded, and he knew I had my gun loaded, I just thought it was a really odd choice for that guy to rush towards me. I don't know, I don't get that, but yeah, I'm really glad I gained the distance there, because if I had gone to close range, that would have been a 50-50 as to whether or not I won that fight. Probably like 60-40 towards the TVP, because it's just that unload speed that tank has. Now I'm watching over to my left, and then the GW Tiger comes around the corner. He fires the shot, stuns me, but because he's fired his gun, I now know that I can go around the corner and kill him off with no real threat. And at this point I'm actually firing premium rounds, and the reason for that is because I don't have a full clip of AP remaining. I only have 3 shots of AP, whereas I think I had 10 or something shots of APCR remaining. So it just made more logical sense to just load the premium rounds, because that way I'll actually be able to just output a full clip of damage if the 2 artilleries rush me together. So it does feel very expensive and very weird to be firing premium rounds in this circumstance, but there's really not much I can do in relation to that. It's just like the situation that I'm in. So At this point, I'm kind of just like worried about where the Conqueror GC is going to be at, because the Conqueror GC didn't rush me like the GW Tiger. I honestly expected them to rush together because they're artilleries, and if one of them missed, then the other one would come around the corner behind me or something to like finish me off. But they didn't do that, which was interesting, because it looks like the GW Tiger basically acted of his own accord, and the Conqueror GC, for some reason, decided to stay behind. It seemed like a very odd choice to me. Like, when it comes to artilleries, I'm always amazed at how willing they are to just like separate up. But yeah. Well, I guess it kind of makes sense because I am in an autoloader and I could have clipped them both with like the one clip. But yeah, it's just one of those like odd situations where it's kind of hard to predict like what exactly would have been the best thing to do. Accidentally hit that little bit of rubble there, which causes an explosion, which potentially gives away my position. And I was thinking the Conqueror GC might be hiding in the corner at like the back part of their base, but he actually wasn't. And I rush around the corner. I forget how wide the gun arc is on the Conqueror GC. He hits me in the front. However, I was confident that I could take one hit from the Conqueror GC, because the Conqueror GC, if you don't know, since the penetration and the like damage and stuff like that get reworked for artillery, it only has like, I think it's like 40 or 50 penetration, whereas the entirety of the front of my tank is like at least 100mm thick. It was very unlikely that he'd actually be able to kill me in one shot. He does have massive damage, but it's only HE damage, so it's almost impossible for him to kill me in one shot with 700 health remaining. So it was a bit of a risky play there at the end, and I did kind of get caught out by how wide the gun arc is on the Conqueror GC. Those things always kind of surprise me when it comes to shit like that, but overall that was a very tense game, and I ended up ending off with over 8,000 damage in the T54E1. So overall, I honestly wound up liking this thing in the long run, which is something I didn't expect to say whenever it came to the like opinions that I'd heard before I got it, because the initial opinions that I heard for this machine were just like, it's crap, don't even bother with it, just free XP past it. And like, I was never really it was never really even an option for me to like free XP past it. I just don't like doing that. I hate the idea of like free XP and past stuff. But this thing here, like, I went in with very low expectations and it genuinely surprised me. I was really happy with the way the vehicle played, and I'm hopefully going to be able to get some gameplay in the T57 Heavy sometime soon, because T57 is a bit of a gameplay change from this thing. It's nowhere near as versatile as this thing was. Like, the T57 has insane firepower. It is unbelievably strong. But this thing here was more flexible when it came to the overall like maneuverability and just the ability to react to situations. T57 is still good, but this thing here was better when it came to the ability to react to things, which is what pretty much saved me in this game. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video in the comment section below. Hopefully you enjoyed more of like a focused on gameplay sort of video, rather than something where I just kind of like talk about the tank and then the general things I do over the course of the game later. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.